Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So today marks the one-year anniversary of the groundbreaking here at historic Hinchliffe Stadium. And at that groundbreaking, Senator Poe, Governor Murphy called Hinchliffe Stadium New Jersey's Field of Dreams. Well, as you can see, it is really starting to materialize. Like I've stated in the past, students at School 5 for the last 20 plus years peer outside their windows, and this is what they saw. But look at what's happening now. So I would encourage anyone to take before pictures, because you're going to be amazed by what you see with the after pictures. Last Friday, we celebrated Jackie Robinson Day, where he broke the color barrier in 1947. In Paterson, we have our Larry Doby, who in July 5th, 1947, broke the color barrier in the American League with the then Cleveland Indians, now the Cleveland Guardians. And Larry Doby broke it at a time when both leagues didn't play. So he faced the same level of hostility, hate, and racism as Jackie Robinson. And we love him forever for that. But today, we're pleased to give you a progress report on where we are and where we're going as far as a timeline is concerned about revitalizing Hinchliffe Stadium. So ladies and gentlemen, Paterson's own, who's bringing Hinchliffe Stadium back, leading off, Baye Adolfo Wilson.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm trying to figure out, should I ask them to stop working, but I think it's actually better that they are working.
Yeah.
Because this is the environment that we're in. You know, we are, it's been a one-year anniversary since we started construction on the project, and it's, there's 3 new buildings here. As you guys know, there is the restaurant and the museum building. There is the structure, which is the housing, and as well as the parking garage. This project is we're scheduled to be complete this year. I think the thing that is sort of the most significance about it is that this is really something that's coming into fruition. I know for a long time, Hinchliffe was closed, and there was a lot of pessimism around it and also a lot of concern. But what we're doing is really working at our hardest to make sure that the dreams of the city and the dedication of the staff, and especially the mayor, the director, as well as the state delegation, that we're implementing the ideas and implementing the resources that they allocated to this project to make sure this works. It's an incredibly sort of complicated project in terms of the restoration of the seating bowl in the stadium. This project is on the National Historic Register. It's a National Historic Landmark. So there's a lot of diligence in terms of the restoration of the seating bowl. The parking garage is going up. It's probably the part of the project that's the furthest along, and we have the 75 units of housing. We're looking forward to this project being completed at the end of the year. Our goal is to have the first games and first events in the stadium in the spring of 23, mostly because it's an outdoor stadium, and so you can't really do anything at the end of the year. Otherwise, though, it's really been something that has been particularly gratifying for me as someone who grew up in Paterson, to be working on the project with people I went to high school with, I went to grammar school with, that I've known for the majority of my life, to be working to bring back a local treasure, but also a regional and national treasure. And so in that, it's been significant. The other part that's important, obviously, is that this is the 75th anniversary of Jackie Robinson. And in that regard, to say, we're coming upon the 75th anniversary of Larry Doby. And Paterson's contribution to the history of the integration of baseball and also sort of the integration of America is important. And so we want to celebrate that. One of the things that we're doing is we're building a museum space that's dedicated to the Negro League, as well as an exhibition that's going to be focused on Larry Doby. It's going to be actually the first major exhibition is one based on Larry Doby. That's kind of where we're at right now. Nothing else really. That's sort of the major parts of it. I don't really sort of have any other updates other than that. Other than we could do a tour for you guys, if you guys want to do that afterwards, so you can sort of get a good sense of what's happening. But that, for the most part, that's it. This is a challenging project, but it's also something that's really exciting, and I'm just sort of honored to be a part of it with the team.
Come on, let's give a rousing round of applause for the cleanup hitter now. We've upgraded him. This wouldn't have been possible without teamwork, right? We're talking about sports being played here. And our legislative delegation here in the 35th District really stepped up to the plate, if you will. And so at this time, we'd like to hear from our Senator Nellie Poe.
Well, good morning. First,
Good morning.
Let me just say, I am so super excited. I'm excited because as a young girl going to Kennedy High School, seeing all the progress that is going on here, it's just amazing, amazing. Mayor, let me congratulate you, and Baye, where are you? Baye, first and foremost.
He's
I
working.
mean, this is such an important project, and I'm really very happy that I get to not only be a part of how we were able to help to make this possible in terms of helping with identifying funds and supporting that, but also that it gets done during my lifetime. I thought, having been a Paterson resident all my life, being able to know what Hinchliffe Stadium was all about during my days when I was in high school, to come back and see this renovation and see the improvement and to see how much I am just so overwhelmingly happy to see that there is something really truly important happening right here in Paterson, New Jersey, something that we could all be very proud of. This is truly the jewel of our city, Mayor.
Thank you.
And congratulations to all of you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator kept her word. She was poking fun at my tie. Larry, look, I'm wearing orange and blue right here to represent the hottest team in Major League Baseball today. That's right, it's April. I'll talk to you in August. We get excited. That's what happens with us. At this time, I'm going to call forward a gentleman whose name is synonymous with sports in this city. Mr. Recreation, our Assemblyman, one of the greatest coaches in the history of our city and our state, Benji E. Wimberly.
Good afternoon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is really a great honor. And I knew when I came here, I went to the Yankee game Friday night, that I would hear from him about the Mets being 7-3.
That's right.
7-3, but I will talk to him again in September when it really counts, So we know this is a significant year for the stadium also. As much as everybody gets excited about, Jackie Robinson, July 5th right here in the city of Paterson, we will celebrate Larry Doby Day again at his field. And I'm looking forward to the day that we will have a Larry Doby Day here within the stadium to really celebrate, the accomplishments that he had and really the history of Larry Doby from, the Newark Eagles, from Virginia Union to Long Island. These are the things that I think folks need to know about when it comes to the history of Paterson. Larry Doby, Jackie Robinson, they're not African-American history, they're American history.
Right.
So we have to make sure that our folks know that. And Baye, to you and your team, this is exciting. I can tell the story over and over again. The best story I have is that I coached and won the last game here in 1997.
Whoa.
We beat Passaic, and the great part is that the next year there's we'll have the field ready for you. And it's been quite a while, and that field hasn't been done yet. So this is really exciting. I can't wait to see Eastside and Kennedy and PCTI and all the other teams come here and play a tournament in the name of Larry Doby, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to thank the administration, also the Mayor, Mike Powell, for their steadfast work on making sure this gets done. Because when you walk in here, you get chills. I mean, I can't wait to see the senior citizens looking out the window watching the game.
Right, yes.
That should be something we should all look forward to. So, Mayor, Baye team, thanks for the work you're doing, and I cannot wait for that opening day.
Thank you, Senator and Assemblyman, for hitting a home run for Hinchliffe Stadium. Speaking of hitting home runs, we have a home run hitter with us. He's been mentioned multiple times. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Larry Doby Jr. who I saw you caught the first pitch the other day, right?
I did catch
Very
it.
good.
Luckily I didn't drop it.
No, you didn't drop it.
Guys, it is such a wonderful thing to see here. I was here last year for the groundbreaking, and now the progress that they've made warms my heart. I am overwhelmed. I cannot wait for some kids to play here, for the senior citizens to look out. And I know that it just took a whole bunch of teamwork, and I hope we can stay together and see this thing through. And I cannot wait until it's completed and we can come here and enjoy, some games and watch the kids grow. So let's go.
Thank you. Play ball. Play ball. Thank you, Larry. You'll catch the first pitch here as well, and you won't drop it either. Speaking of not dropping the ball, we got a glimpse here with Larry Doby Jr. We have a young man here in Paterson who's starring at Passaic County Technical Institute. As a matter of fact, he's been accepted to the University of Miami. But, Coach, as you know, there's something called the Major League Baseball draft in July that's coming up. And they actually moved to July, unfortunately. I can't wait, though. And this young man I've seen in several mock drafts is projected to go in the first round, and some say he might even go in the second round as well. I just want to let everybody know the Mets have five picks in the first 100 picks. And this young man could potentially don the orange and blue. Ladies and gentlemen, Paterson's own, who's got to leave because he's got to go to practice, Nazir Muley. Put you on now so you can leave.
Unlike everyone else in this building, unlike everyone else here, I wasn't alive when this was a thing.
That's right.
So I'm still trying to get the hang of, I understand that, a lot of people have played here. I understand that I can't wait to be one of the people that play here. Maybe I could be the one to throw out the first pitch to Larry here.
Yeah.
If that was the case, I think he would drop it. Just saying. But what has been put together has been great. I was here just a few months ago, and to see the progress that has been done is just outstanding. And like I said, I know it's going to take a team, which Paterson has the best that I'm looking around here and seeing. So I know we've got the best team, and I know we've got the team that can make this work. So hopefully I could be here. I could be able to play here one day and live out the same experiences as the rest of you got to.
For the record, Coach Wimberly, Nas was my next door neighbor on Dundee Avenue. He hit his first home run off of me, and I was also his first strikeout victim. So I have a lot to do with his success. I got him off on a very good start. No, but we're very proud of you, Nas, and we do see you in the major leagues. And Harold Reynolds is high on him. And Harold Reynolds, as you know, is the ambassador to Hinchliffe Stadium, and he's working on getting Major League Baseball to get that Field of Dreams game here in Paterson. So we're still banking on that game being played here at Hinchliffe Stadium. That will count towards the standings, just like the game that was played last year in Iowa, the Field of Dreams, between the White Sox and Yankees. And yes, the White Sox did emerge victorious in that game. At this time, I want to call forward, this couldn't have been made possible without the Paterson Board of Education. And we've been joined by a commissioner, Manny E. Martinez. If you want to come forward. No? Okay. Wow. He wants a pinch hitter. Nevertheless, I'm glad I gave you a shout out. There you go. Also want to acknowledge another proud Patersonian Mets fan, the president of the Greater Paterson Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Orlando Cruz. Now, we needed some heavy lifting here for Hinchliffe Stadium. I'm not talking about some of the construction pieces. We have an economic development director who's made it a priority to make sure that this stadium comes back to life. Senator, you've had long conversations with him. Coach, I don't know if you've had long conversations with him, but if you want, he's always available. All hours, and ask the senator. This man will take your call, not even take your call, he'll call you at 2 in the morning. And that's Michael High Energy Powell here.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks, buddy. Way to go.
Oh, look at this.
Thanks, everyone. And just want to thank all the cranes behind us here. We got 3 of the biggest cranes in town. We're making a lot of progress on a lot of these projects, but again, without our delegation, without the school district, without the mayor's leadership and vision, none of this would have been possible. And so here's a major milestone. We're out about another 8 months or so in terms of opening day. Standing over here, again, Abaye pointed to it, that's going to be our restaurant and exhibit hall celebrating, the history of what was about race and class in America, but it's going to be dedicated to the vision and the memory of Larry Doby, and that's very, very exciting. The parking garage here is almost complete, and getting that together here was not easy. Coming through the neighborhood without a plan, that was a little nail biting, but we got it done. And again, the housing is going to be fantastic and some of the best views of the games to come. I'm also going to point to the building behind it, which is 468 Totowa, is also slated to become the Great Falls Lofts. And we're about to go out to bid on the vistas as well as the quarry lawn. We're making great progress with regards to the transfer of the land to the National Park Service. We just have one more minor milestone to have the Secretary of the Interior to sign off on. And then that moves again with the Great Falls Alexander Hamilton Education and Visitor Center. Right down the hill on McBride, you'll see we're making tons of progress at the Argus Mill as well. The footings are just about in as well. That's another 74 units that's going to be pointed for grandparents raising grandkids. We're really doing a lot of targeted, affordable, and supportive housing. We're also making a huge strides on the Ward Street Garage right downtown, in the heart of downtown at the train station. You'll notice a huge pile of rubble, Nelly, that's almost gone. But I think it also shows the depth and sight in terms of how infill development is going to happen downtown. We're also making huge strides with regards to the former Leader Die site, and also on the footings on the Armory as well.
Armory.
So to the extent that we can point to things in 3.5 years here that we're trying to kind of point to, we're just getting started. And so, Mayor, thank you for letting us, tirelessly work all the time, but we believe in this stuff, and there's more to come. And I will also note that the governor and his administration have been nothing but helpful here as well. And in fact, we're about to launch into a whole new planning process with regards to taking advantage of future state incentives. So we have about $1 million that's coming from the state of New Jersey allocated through the legislature, so we can also take advantage of future tax incentive programs that are out there that places like Paterson can really take advantage of, not the least of which would be like the Historic Preservation Tax Credit, the Aspire program, and a bunch of other things that we think Paterson is specifically poised for. In fact, it's Atlantic City, Trenton, and Paterson that are in pole position, and that's because of the work of the delegation and the vision, I think, of the governor's office. So, Mayor, thanks again for everything, and back to work.
Well said, Michael, and I just want to dovetail on something you stated. So you mentioned the Armory, Leader Die. Obviously, we're here at Hinchliffe Stadium. Yes, we're taking some of these properties that were eyesores and we're bringing them back. As a matter of fact, when we entered office in 2018, there was about 1,200 abandoned properties. Now there's about 400. So it's about a 70% reduction. We're looking to reduce that by even more, but we couldn't do it without our federal partners, our state partners, our county partners, and all the supporters that we've had for this project. We've garnered so much attention. Last year at the groundbreaking, we had Willie Randolph, CeCe Sabathia, Omar Minaya, Harold Reynolds, and Larry, I don't know if you remember on that cold day, I think it was December, we had Dwight Gooden here as well. So when we cut, go ahead, I'm sorry, Larry. That's true, that's a good question. Was that a trick question? Okay. But nevertheless, irrespective of your team, this stadium is significant towards American history. You're right, Coach Wimberly. And so we see in the future, not just former Major League stars, but current Major League stars coming to the city of Paterson as we cut the ribbon on the new and improved Hinchliffe Stadium. Thank you for joining us.